Hey guys, so I thought I'd try my best to do a very short video so I can get back to having so much fun doing my workout. So what's the deal? I'm always talking about that darn blood sugar with dysregulation. I mean, what the hell is that? People are often asking me, you mentioned blood sugar dysregulation so much, what's the problem with it? Well, the problem is we weren't designed to be eating so much processed carbohydrate. Even though we have amylase in our mouth to break down starches and sugars, and we are craving sugars because that was the least available fuel source. So yes, here and there, as little cockroaches that we are trying to survive, the need to restore glycogen would be fine if you're starving. Remember guys, we need to store fat so we can survive through famine. People don't look at our bodies in a primal sense. We're just so vain, like we want to have muscles, we want to have a business, we want to look great, but it may not be indicative of our modern day lifestyles, even though we are literally animals. Modernization of humans has screwed us up. So we have all these infections. We have bacterial infections in our gut. We have things like candida, which is an overgrowth from what? Too much carbohydrate. So blood sugar dysregulation is when you can't keep your blood sugar steady and it's dipping up and down and up and down and up and down, and that puts pressure on your entire body. And so you start to see these signs of breakdown when people start to develop, of course, insulin resistance, where they're just eating carbs and eating carbs. The body's having to release insulin over and over to get it out of the blood. Because I say in a lot of my videos that you can only manage about 5 grams of glucose every time you eat, which should be, if you're glucose dependent, every couple of hours. That's not a lot of carbohydrate. So if you're drinking, let's say, juice that has 22 grams of sugar in it, or some of these shakes or some of these bars, boom, the body's like freaking out. It's like, okay, I can only manage 5 grams of blood at one time before it's a problem. You can't poop or pee it out that fast, so it's got to go somewhere. Where is it going? It's going to your fat cells. And if you keep pushing the body up against, if you keep pushing the body up against the wall, that's a problem, because the body will eventually fight back. Yeah, the body's going to have to steal from Paul to give it to Pete so you don't die. So basically, what happens? Your thyroid production slows down, the thyroid hormone. It's trying to put your body in a hibernation state so you don't move, right? Conserve energy. Because stress to the body isn't like, the brain does not understand the modern time. Stresses of bills, relationship issues, traffic, driving in your car, to things that are more serious. But the brain, it doesn't understand that. Sustained stress when we were hunter-gatherers and when we were that type of animal would always equate to starvation. So we want to store more body fat so we can survive on our fat reserves. So when you eat these carbohydrates, the body's like, oh my God, get it out of the blood. Yes, it does that. Get it out, get it out, get it out. So of course we have these insulin receptor sites on our fat cells, and boom, goes right into the fat cell. And we go boom, boom, boom. And now our fat cells are swelling and they're dividing. Now we have more storage space for fat, and we're not starving. Okay, so we're eating this processed carbohydrate. It starts breaking down in our mouth, and yes, we have the amylase, yes. It starts breaking down in our saliva. Like if you put a cracker in your mouth, it's already melting. That's not normal, guys. What happens if you put broccoli into your mouth? It just sits there, right? Why? Because of all of that cellulose, all of that fiber. So think about it. Things can go very quickly through your system like rocket speed. Well, that would seem kind of cool, right? No, no, no. We want things to be slow and controlled. So you eat a sandwich, you eat some crackers, or some juice, you're starting to digest it in the saliva, it hits the stomach, it's already like, the molecules are very small because carbohydrates, those small molecules, where fat, very dense, thick, takes more force to break it down. And it's hitting your bloodstream, and your body's like, oh my God, too much is coming in, we can't manage too much in the blood at one point, or one time, the 4 to 5 grams, so let's distribute it to certain places, muscle glycogen, blah, 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 and the rest will get partitioned to where? Your fat cells. So they can do what? Divide, swell, and get even bigger. So insulin is secreted, to take that sugar out of the blood and put it somewhere else, for goodness sake. So the body's like getting it out through insulin, insulin's taking it out, it's taking it out. Now we have these insulin hands on our cells, so obviously you release insulin and we're getting glucose and we're getting the carbohydrate into all the cells, which is why cancer freaking grows like spastic crazy, or candida, because we have all those insulin receptor sites, at least for the cancer. Here we go. So the glucose is going into the fat cell, and the carbohydrates going into the fat cell. And insulin's having to work all day long because you're having a bowl of cereal for morning, or you're having a donut, or you're just having a coffee, which is awful, right? People don't understand how much caffeine can rob your body of minerals like D and calcium. Losers, get off the freaking coffee. Even if you're having the conflicting arguments that coffee is good. No, it's not good. Would you give it to your little baby? I don't think so. Okay, so here we go. So, which of course, coffee overstimulates the adrenals, and now you've got you're just exacerbating the whole blood sugar dysregulation problem, where you can't manage your blood sugar because it's dropping. Your body's like, oh, too much blood sugar, let's get it out, and then you go to low blood sugar. And you keep doing that. Now insulin's like, I'm tired. Like, I'm freaking tired. So it stops doing its job. So now you're having all this glucose. And what happens to your body? It's not getting into the cell as nutrients. I mean, you could be eating a bunch of fast food all the time and the brain's like, I'm starving. Because those insulin receptor sites are diminishing. They're diminishing. So now you're insulin resistant, and now nutrients are not getting into the cell. And what starts to happen? Your freaking body starts falling apart. Yeah? Don't believe me? Look at people on their face. That's the first place that you see it. All of your face is a map to all of your organs. Okay? Then, of course, you start seeing in weight. Of course. Yes, of course. But really the things that happen are it totally messes with your hormones. So people start to develop depression because too much of an excitatory food group, like too much glucose, can downregulate your serotonin. And that's the hormone that makes you feel balanced. And so when you're eating, you get a squirt of it. And you only feel good while you're eating food. And then you're done eating, and oh my God, I've got to eat again so I can get a squirt, because normally your serotonin levels are not producing enough serotonin to make you feel balanced. And the only time you feel balanced is when you're eating food. Oh boy. So then we've got melatonin, which is coming from serotonin. It's a precursor, and now all your hormones are out of whack. You don't have enough serotonin, you have too much cortisol at night, your body's in this fight or flight mode, and you are jacked. That's not good, you guys. All because you cannot manage your blood sugar. And so what happens? Things like your endothelial cells in your arteries start to get jacked. Ages start to happen. Advanced glycation enzymes. We're having too much insulin. It's stacking up in the blood, and it's glycating the proteins in all your cells. And that's why you can't sleep. And that's why you look like shite. And that's why you're tired. And that's why you have fibromyalgia. And that's why your thyroid starts getting taxed. And that's why you start having an adrenal overload. And it doesn't matter who I speak with. They're like, I eat well and I do well. And I'm like, in 5 seconds I can figure out things that they're not considering that are putting pressure on their body. They don't understand that they have a bacterial infection. They don't understand that they've been eating glucose, they have a blood sugar dysregulation, and they potentially are insulin resistant. Then they're not working out, and I'm trying to teach them how to be insulin sensitive, right? So these are just a few concepts on why ketogenesis is so great, because once your body, and of course diabetics, well, we all know that. Once your body is not dependent on glucose, that thing goes away. It's so crazy how you go and eat a bunch of carbohydrates and your body's having this sensation of low blood sugar, like hypoglycemic, shaky, irritable, but you really have too much glucose in the blood because those insulin receptor sites, they diminish. And now the nutrients aren't getting into the freaking cells. That's what's going on, you guys. And we can live like that because we're freaking like cockroaches. We can live with toxins and crap and eating bad, and we can survive a long time in this manner. But that blood sugar dysregulation, you can draw a clear sign to cancer, to guys having low testosterone. You can't get your muscle gains, you can't sleep, depression, big time. The whole ADD, big time blood sugar dysregulation, meaning you cannot manage your blood sugar. You have mechanisms to get out the sugar and you have mechanisms to rise, right? You have glucagon, which is opposing to insulin. When insulin is high, glucagon is going to be low, right? Glucagon is what brings back up blood sugar and puts you in balance. When you cannot manage your blood sugar, all of those things get out of control. That's why people do ketogenic diet. And people have this concept like it's some cult thing, right? That's why I call it the non-BS diet. It's not a cult. It's not the crazy people all obsessed with it. It's just about health. And if you learn more about biology and how the body works, and something as simple as blood sugar dysregulation, food addictions, and the glycating aspect of your cells, the ages, the tearing down of your DNA, then it makes sense if you draw that nice little line to our hunter-gatherer societies and how they ate bugs and organ meat, you guys. They ate organ meat. They ate eyeballs and testicles and all the soft bits of the animal because that was nutrient dense. That had the fat-soluble vitamins. We didn't start eating carbohydrates until 10,000 years ago. We've been walking around for freaking 2 million years. So when people say that ketogenesis, or ketosis, or ketogenic diet, non-BS diet is not for everyone, yes it is. But you have to take it in stages. You have to retrain your whole thing to operate without carbohydrates. And when you refeed, if you just chose to refeed, you could refeed once or twice a year like our ancestors did on honey and such. Okay guys, want to learn more about how to get into ketosis, the benefits of it, how it can make you strong in the gym, make you super mentally alert, how to change your personality and stop being so freaking stubborn and living in the past, go to stephanieperson.com or Stephanie the Business Person. Have a conversation with me on my fan page. Or you guys can go to my Instagram because all the youngsters in here were like, I don't have an Instagram account. Come on, Steph, get with it. Which is Stephanie, just simple, Stephanie Ketogenic. Okay, guys, ding, 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 ding. I love to work out.